Well, welcome in, everybody. This is episode 2, the Heavy Haulin podcast. Glad we had Jared on that first one. That was entertaining how we, figuring everything out and getting our podcast up and rolling. So we got some new things here to talk about today. Dusty, so you recently made a purchase.
Yeah, I did make a purchase. I want to keep it kind of vague right now. Give it about 4 weeks, let it roll in. I think it kind of rubbed everyone the wrong way when that new Landau showed up. Tell you a nice thing.
Well, a couple of new purchases now that you bring that up. I mean, you got the new Landau you just bought.
Yeah, I got a brand new 440B Landau.
Man, that thing looks clean.
It does. It's not exactly the trailer I exactly wanted. Landau does make a good sliding axle. I'm going to give Landau that. I really wanted a Trail King, and the reason why is going down the road, Trail King sliding axles, Rams, are fully collapsed, where everybody else on the market are extended. So the chrome gets dinged up from rocks and other road debris. So I'm a Trail King fan, believe it or not, when it comes to a sliding axle. And, Trail King makes good product. I'm not going to fault them. I just think that they're out of this world on a lot of their pricing.
Yeah. Well, so you had a remote control for that thing too.
Yes. There's no power pack on it. Everything runs off the truck, 100% PTO, and everything is remote. And it also has a Braden 2-speed winch on it.
Oh, wow. So, and then you just bought another purchase. Could you go over any of the specs with us at least? Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I'm not going to tell you brand or anything like that, but, usual pedigree, 20 front, 20 lift, 46 full lock rears, and double frame. I just want to keep people guessing. I think a lot of people know, especially how I believed in the past. Nothing's really changed. It's not 100% exactly what I wanted, but it's gonna get the job done. It's gonna make things happen, and it's gonna be good. It's really gonna be good. You just gotta do that, and I think people are gonna be surprised when they start seeing things grow.
Yeah, certainly. So I was just at Taylor Martin this last week. Just bought a 2024 W900.
I saw you rolling up the road with it today.
Yeah. I took it over to Thermo King, so we're going to get a tri-pack put on it.
As I was rolling down the road with the 85 ton with that 160,000-pound foundation machine on the trailer, you're going north, I was going south, just waved at each other and just kept going.
I didn't know if you'd recognize me or not, so.
Oh, trust
There's
me.
no decals on the truck yet, so. At least not
yet.
on that new one. I got the new 2023 579 that I got. We just got that stickered up, so.
Well, the good thing is I know a lot of people in the industry right now are struggling, and it is a tough time in the industry, but we've managed to really surround ourselves with just an amazing customer base that really is out to support us, and they listen to us and they take what we have to tell them into consideration. That it gives us the advantage to grow, and which is a good thing, And what I've in my travels, I bet you've heard the same thing is people don't deal with me because I'm a kind and cuddly individual. They deal with me because I give them an answer right away and tell them how to do something. And I think you've come across that in your travels too.
Yeah, certainly. Certainly. So you bought some trailers, or a trailer anyways, and I just bought 2 triple axle step deck stretches. They're Manac stretches. So
I was over there and I saw them, and I know they're only about 2 years old, but man, God, they are clean. The tires still look new, and the nice thing is they're galvanized. You're never going to have a problem with those.
Well, the original owner, he said, I want to say he only had put like 4 loads on those things.
Well, and I know who he bought them from, and him and his boy are just good group of people in that. And, he's second generation, his son's third generation, and they're all around amazing individuals, especially if you have to call them up and talk to them. They're just some of the nicest people you ever meet in your life.
Oh, I totally agree. So we bought those 2 triple axle step deck stretches. I just got another 53-foot step deck and a 48-foot flatbed, and I got those off Taylor Martin.
Well, I tell you, you've had the same experience as I have. Spent a lot of my childhood up at the auction sites at Taylor Martin, running through the cattle trailers, and just spent a lot of time up there, and just always known the guys growing up. Taylor Martin, another good group of individuals, and that to deal with. They just tell you the way it is. They'll give you, they'll basically tell you like, hey, that's only going to bring this or that, and and they're usually pretty dead nuts on. Just they got the market peg down to such a point that it's really hard to beat it.
Yeah, right now as I'm adding more to my fleet and as I'm looking to grow, I do feel like Taylor Martin's the best option. I mean, for a seller and a buyer. I mean, right now the market's in the gutter, so it's a buyer's market as we speak. But you look at some of these dealerships. I mean, on each one of these trucks, I've saved anywhere between 20 and 30,000 a truck.
Well, the only problem with an auction is it's as is, where is, how is.
You're right. You're right. You don't know what anybody tore them up or how they treated them or anything else.
Well, exactly, and we deal with a couple trailer manufacturers around the country and that, and we try to surround ourselves with honest individuals, and I know you've bought a lot from TNT down there, and Bill is just an upstanding individual, and and he's the same way. He just tells you the way it is, and this is how it is, and he always represents it the correct way.
Yeah, no, they've really treated me good. Not only am I buying trailers from them, but I'm also leasing a couple from them. So.
Yeah, and they just make sure your business can grow. They sit there and they can support you. Where a lot of these dealerships, they just want to sell you something. They don't want to deal with a lot of this other stuff, and they don't really have that great of a service department. Where you go down there to Bill at TNT and that, and they got a lot of locations nationwide now, and they're about that life, and you got a problem, you can talk to them, and there's a reason why he's the biggest Fontaine trailer dealer in America right now.
Oh God, no, they have an amazing facility down there, and God, they're set up all over. I mean, they got some in I think Pennsylvania or Rhode Island or.
Well, I know that he opened one in Alaska too.
No, he didn't. Did he really?
Yeah, he did.
Wow. So good for you, Bill. I didn't know about that.
Yeah, he opened one up there in Alaska. I don't know. I think it's Anchorage. I'm not sure. I was kind of on their site looking for some stuff and that, and I saw that. I'm like, wow, that's amazing. Just how do you go from, basically St. Louis up to Anchorage? Like that's insane in my eyes. But, obviously he's doing business the right way. People know him, they trust him, and they're buying from him. That's just a major key to success in my eyes.
Yeah, people out there that are looking to buy their first truck, trailer, maybe they're set up somewhere where they get a trailer lease program or a carrier that has the trailers. What would you recommend for an owner-operator just looking at? I mean, that's the toughest question as we're at truck stops and stuff, and I'm getting asked, hey, Luke, I'm looking to buy my first truck. What should I get? And, that's a very vague question. I mean, there's a lot more.
That's such a loaded question. That's just such a loaded question. The problem is and I'm not going to name names or anything like that, but I've been talking to people, throughout my years and my travels and that, and then you get these big carriers and that, they set up a lease purchase program because they know the people are going to default on it. They get them to make all these payments on it and the upkeep on the truck and sit there and truck for them for their rates and that, and then at the end they starve them out or do something just to sit there and jerk that truck back from them to just do it again. Because I was talking to one individual, and I'm not going to say where because I just don't want to get into it, but it was a carrier outfit, and I'm like, well, how long is it going to take somebody to pay this off? And they just kind of laughed. And he says, they ain't never going to pay it off. And you're like, what? Like, that is like the most like devious stuff you ever hear in your life. It's like, you don't want to see people succeed? Like, why is this? And, unfortunately, I believe a lot of people have that mentality. It's like, well, we can get this person to sit there and pay for it and just jerk it away from them at the end and just, move on because, you can search YouTube and TikTok and listen to other drivers talk about it. And for some reason, a lot of people are coming up with the same stories and just, one story, okay, whatever. But when you start hearing multiple, you're like, ooh, wait a minute.
Yeah, but I guess digging deeper into that question, what should I get for my first truck? I mean, there's you got to know what you're doing first off. I mean, these guys that are rolling around with welfare wagons, also known as grain wagons,
hopper bottoms.
Yeah, hopper bottoms. They're buying these, or even these bull haulers. I mean, not trying to diss on you guys. That it's cool, but they're getting these long frame trucks, stupid long, and even some of this reefer world. And they're getting these long trucks. They don't know really. They didn't know what they're doing. They're buying it for looks. But to me, you could buy a nice, clean, used piece of equipment that looks good. But what does it do the job? I mean, I've often got told, "Hey, we want to add chrome to this and that. Can you buy chrome for this?" And we're like, I mean, does that raise the rates anymore?
Well, the best thing I could ever say, since I've been a PDI dealer for so many years, the most successful bull hauler I've ever seen out there that pulled a pot, he was pulling it with a T660, and he was getting a little over 6 miles to the gallon while everybody else was struggling to get 4.5. And, and I get it, guys. You got to look good going down the road. You got to win at the truck stop, because, I got a lot of friends that build show trucks every year, and I'm about that life. But there's a time and a place where it's got to be practical, especially when the rates are down or whatever, that you just can't have a 300-inch wheelbase. And, sometimes you got to get aerodynamic. You got to cut weight. You got to do whatever you can. You got to be a card counter at the casino. You got to win. And, and the number one thing anybody ever asks me, well, my first question I always ask them, what are you going to pull? Well, I'm going to pull a reefer. Well, that's fine. I'm not saying you have to go to a Cascadia. I'm not saying you have to go to a 4900X or any of that stuff. But, or, maybe look at a 579. Look at a, what are they now? T700s. And, and the other big realization that they got to make is what is the dealer support network like? Because in Omaha here, the only people that support the equipment they sell is Omaha Truck Center, Truck Center companies. They are Midwest wide, and their techs are good. They have their own in-house training program, and I'm telling you right now that it, and even the ones that from the ones that we've done in the past, you can't really beat them DDs. If you take care of them, they just take care of you, and they get good mileage, and they have good power band in them. And you don't struggle and fight where, you go look at one of them red motors, and you've heard me on the phone arguing with dealerships trying to get stuff warranted, and it's a fight. It's just an absolute fight. So you got to really take a lot of things into consideration. And the big one is what is the support network around you? If you go around and say, I travel in the Midwest, okay, you travel in the Midwest, good for you. Well, what are you doing? Where this dealership or that dealership, and I'm not naming anyone out, but the big, Kenworth or Pete dealerships and the big names, just they really struggle to support the little guy. They don't care.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Well, but then on the other hand, too, you're seeing these guys, these door swingers, they're pulling W900s and 389s with a 230-inch wheelbase.
Oh, a little 245, 230, depending on the sleeper configuration.
Yeah, it makes no sense to me. I mean, those guys, especially with the availability, how aerodynamic they can be, they think they should be trying to suck as much fuel up as fuel mileage up as they can. As I'm looking for some of these trucks, that's what I'm finding is it's hard to find these trucks that fit my needs where I really need at minimum that 285-inch wheelbase.
Well, because you pull a lot of stuff with a lot of Frodo overhanging that. Yeah, on your Conestoga trucks, like that 579 and that.
Oh, that thing is awesome.
Yeah, it's going to do great for you because you're about fuel mileage. And it just goes back to my previous comment. You got to be a card counter at the casino. You got to suck every bit of mileage you possibly can out of these trucks because fuel's such a major player in today's world that, fuel, tires, they all go into it. And then also you got to worry about, well, is this damn engine going to go down on me in that? Because, as many motors you've seen me overhaul in my life, unfortunately on an ISX, I've seen it anywhere from 175,000 all the way up to 800,000 where it needs an overhaul because the liner's sunk.
Well, I mean, that's something that really frustrates me too. Is I'll be on somewhere like Marketplace or something. I'll find a truck that's for a good price. I'll be, oh man, so stoked. And then I look at the description. The first thing I see, MX. And I'm like, oh God. I mean, immediately, I don't even look at that truck. Might meet every other spec that I'm looking for. Immediately, I'm switching off to the next engine. Or the next truck. That's the first thing I look at is that motor. What's it got in there?
As much crap as I talk about Cummins and that, I've worked on a lot of them, but they're very user friendly when it comes to working on them and that. And I got buddies at the dealerships and they say, oh yeah, an MX, they're easy to work on. There's nothing wrong with them and that. And well, it's like, well, problem is Cummins will give you a free account to Quick Serve, so you can actually look up, diagnostics and everything like that, how to work on it and that, where PACCAR is a little bit more tamed back on willing to give you information. They want you to buy, Davie 4, and they want you to have everything set up properly where they can even go and, just give you the information that you need. And unfortunately, that's the only problem. And I will say that is the one positive thing about Cummins is they have just willingly to hand over information to the end user to, make it happen so people feel more confident with their product. But, I also have some negative things to say about Cummins about not wanting to warranty parts and stuff like that. And you've heard me on the phone screaming at him and that, going, we have extended turbo cover. We've have extended turbo coverage on this truck. Well, what's the problem? Well, you see that part, even though it's attached to the turbo, that's not covered by that coverage. It's like, are you freaking kidding me?
So I want to put a pin in that here real quick.
You hogging them Delos over there,
yeah,
boy?
that's what I was going to say. I could see you giving me that shit-eating grin over there, Hadley. So, yeah, we got, as you guys don't see, we got our Jamie here in our podcast room.
Pull that up, Jamie.
That's me.
Yeah, so we got Hadley here. He got one of...
You made me open a fat tire.
Yeah, sorry. Get you one of the good cans.
Wait, you don't like that? That's good stuff.
I like fat tire, but it makes me tired.
Yeah, and you're going to the gym after this.
Yeah, exactly.
Flat tire.
So, but
Yeah, no
Hadley
shit.
got us all set up here, everything put together, so we can have a little more professional of a podcast room. We got some construction underway here.
Yeah, it's a work in progress.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. I'm going to order some flags.
Yeah, that'd be
behind
good.
you guys.
That'd be good. Yeah, no. Do you have koozies too?
Yeah, I can order some koozies. That'd be good, actually.
Yeah, let's get some koozies in here. I thought you did a really good job here. So we.
Thank you.
It's
It's half set up, so.
Yeah. No, as we work through this, we get our angles down and how we want to do it, and have a TV here so we can start pulling stuff up and showing you guys if we're going to talk about a certain subject, which we might get into a few of those today. So yeah, let's go back to your topic, Dusty, on engines.
So the number one deal is to anybody that's going to go buy a truck, and believe it or not, the best thing you could ever do on a truck, the old, advice of pulling the oil filled tube cap off and seeing how much blow by it has, it's good advice. But these modern engines, and the way I've always told my customers throughout the years, an ISX is so smart, especially with the crankcase pressure sensor, it's going to let you know when it's time for an overhaul, because it's going to start popping a code for it and that. And even my buddy, I was up visiting my buddy Derek's place up in northern Iowa, and he was ripping a Cummins down, and out of 6 cylinders, all of them had broke rings except one. Worst engine I've ever seen in my life that had broken rings in it. And that's the other thing is I always explain to everybody is an ISX is a very dry motor. If your front cover's leaking oil and your rear, structure's leaking oil, you got broke rings, buddy. Like something's going on in there, and you got to pull that thing down. So just, guys, if you're going to go to the auction, look at a truck, these are things you need to take into account. The best thing you could ever do, truly, is take that truck, put it on a dyno, and just pull the living piss out of it and see what she does, especially on crankcase pressure, because that'll be your number one telltale sign if you got internal problems. But that's what it is. And unfortunately, the true reliable engines on the market right now, I know Scania finished buying out International because it's actually VW because they're owned by VW, and that new Scania that they got in America is really kicking ass. But I've never seen one in person, but everybody I've talked to that's driven one, they really like it.
Tell you what, though, those Scanias look really good, though. Especially for a local truck getting in some of these tight job sites. It does look like an ideal, more local truck. I know you go back to that cab over style.
I have a friend that works for Scania over in Germany, and I talk to him daily. And I really wish I could get a V8 Scania in a Peterbilt. And I know Bruce, you see him all over social media. He's pushing Scania hardcore in America. And
are they out much? I don't think I've seen one in America.
No. There's none. He brought one over to America as a test truck, but he's got to send it back from what I was told from my buddy in Germany, because that's what he was told. So it's all secondhand knowledge, obviously. But if I get a Peterbilt with a V8 Scania, I'm telling you what, I think that'd be tits. 700 horse factory in that, backed up by their automated transmission. That's all built, same brand. Let her rip in that. But as far as engines go these days, fortunately, the only two real options are DDs and Cummins.
Yeah. Did Cat come out with a new engine?
No, Cat doesn't have anything out yet. I know yesterday, they're talking about rolling the emission standards back, but until that happens, as well as I do, it's all conjecture, So until we see what the government does, that's what we're all waiting on now.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I guess I thought I heard Cat was coming out with a new engine that is for the highway.
They could be, because I know on highway and off highways intersected. And I remember reading an article that I showed you back, 2018, that Cat claimed they could meet Tier 4 final emission standards with C13 turning 600 horsepower with nothing but DEF. That's how Europe does it, is they just run high cylinder temps and pressures and just dump DEF at it. They don't run DPFs over there. And they that's what the new Scania over here is about, and they cut all them extra sensors out and that. They just dump a load of DEF at the exhaust and let her rip, Just
God, that is just one. That's what I wish you even brought up that product. That's one product I don't understand. Very corrosive. I mean, you see it all over the pumps and everything else. It's corrosive. It's disgusting. And then ultimately, it costs more money to run down the road.
Kills the bees too.
Yes, it does. California came out with a study showing it kills bees.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah, and
so I think it's because it's sweet or something.
I'm not sure.
Like
about
draws
that.
it to them, kind of like antifreeze does.
It just kills them. Yep.
Well, so you can always walk by a truck and tell it's regenerating the way it smells. And I don't know if it's putting off a gas or some stuff. I'm not sure. I didn't look into it. I just heard that there's a study out claiming it. But,
look at your tanks, too, when you're, like, where you pump it into your truck. They're all, like, corroded and nasty and shit, too.
Yeah, because it crystallizes.
Yeah.
And I'm not telling anybody what to do here, I'm just giving you advice, but do not put DEF in diesel fuel, because the filter will not catch it. It'll jack the fuel lines up and seize all the injectors and the fuel pump up.
Put sugar in there instead.
I did see a guy had an engine all tore apart the other day. I can't say where I seen it, but I said, "What's going on, man? You look like you got a project on your hands." And they said, "Yeah, they put DEF in the diesel."
Yeah, fuel system's junk at that point. Basically, it'll go right past the water separator and everything like that, and she just don't matter.
Oh,
she'll get in there, she'll score up the fuel pump, and she'll lock the injectors up, and she's done dead over at that point, boys.
It's good fertilizer, too. Did you know that? DEF is. You spray it on your grass, and it'll grow your grass real lot.
Well, it's urea, pretty much.
Yeah.
That's all. It is.
So
urea.
it's not a form of nitrogen.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is I'd rather run DEF without EGR and a DPF, and just dump a lot of DEF at it and call it good, versus all the extra sensors that those systems take and the valves and all that stuff. Because especially get rid of VGT turbo. My God, everyone wants to go and sit there and hop these trucks up and that. And, we've all heard the stories that, well, this guy can turn this truck up, he can do this, do custom tuning and that, and it's like, okay. And then you start reading online about how Pittsburgh Power is junk, and PDI is junk, and diesel specs junk, and it's like you finally look at these guys and you go, do you even have a chassis dyno? No. Well, then how the hell do you know what you're doing? Well, you just can tell. Oh, okay, cool, whatever, dude.
Yeah,
whatever.
I've heard of horror stories of guys saying they got their truck deleted and nothing was ever changed in the ECM, and everything else was unplugged, and they made it here to, I don't know, 230 miles or so.
Goes into full pissed off D-rate, and
they were at North Platte, and they said, man, they didn't delete this truck at all.
Isn't that illegal now?
Yeah.
It's always been illegal. You've never been able to delete a truck.
Yeah.
And that's naughty, and you should not do that.
I mean, my Duramax might have been deleted.
No, and I advise everybody these days, do not delete a truck. The government is not playing the games. They don't care.
Especially now. It's way worse now than what it used to be.
Well, look at that. There's a guy in town that he had to pay a $672,000 fine.
That's insane.
For deleting trucks and that, and all this other stuff. And I advise everybody, the best thing you can do is go get yourself CARB compliant products with a CARB-EO number, and you just need to go and live life that way. Just you're gonna have to bite the bullet. You're gonna have to keep it stock.
Yeah, we're not saying it's ideal by any means, but
No.
It's the world we live in today.
Yeah, and we all I've seen it a million times, and just like you hear it coming in that, and you're like, wow, that fuel timing is so far off. Just how that thing sounds, you're like, my God.
Wasn't Trump trying to get away from all that too, though?
Yeah, they're talking about rolling it back to
Okay.
like the '07 standards or that, but again, nothing's passed, so. That would be back, DPF and EGR and a VGT.
Because the regenning and stuff, that burns way more fuel to regen your truck, just as much as it would to not have DEF and shit on your truck.
Well, what I really like to see is when you got one with a bad injector in it, or when it starts leaking coolant out the EGR cooler, and what it does to the DPF and how it melts it. I'm telling you what, that's amazing. It all of a sudden starts melting all the ceramic and that, and you're like, wow.
Well, they're just fighting fire by starting a bigger fire, right?
Well, I mean, let's talk clean air for a second here.
Clean air is important, I'm not saying.
I agree as well.
I'm not disagreeing with that per se, but I'm just saying as far as what these trucks are claiming, would you park your truck that yours doesn't, but let's say, yeah, would you park a truck with a DPF system on in the garage and let it run, and as long as it has that particulate filter on it?
I wouldn't run any vehicle in the garage, but
I might time or two.
Yeah, it's tempting.
I got brain damage.
Jesus, but the the big deal is it's the world we live in, and yes, I used to build a lot of glider kits back in the day. I used to build a lot of Peterbilts and that, and built 3 Kenworths and everything like that, and that it was great. The trucks I own are glider kits with cats because, I believe truly cat's where it's at. But, unfortunately, in today's world, you can't do it anymore. And you get these other guys out there that are ordering a brand new truck and they immediately rip the engine out and put a cat back in it. It's like,
what's a glider kit?
A glider kit is a truck that comes with no engine in it. Okay. So the way the federal emissions were regulated was by what they call in-crank block date. So the first time that crank was put in that block is the year of emission standards it has to operate on. That's why it does go off truck year. It goes off the engine year.
Okay, so you can put whatever motor you want in with.
Well, wait a minute. So it's technically illegal to rip out an emission-compliant engine and put an old engine in it.
Well, if you buy one without an engine, then...
No, technically, just the only way around it was major block. Yeah. Well,
because I knew about that.
Yeah, it used to be. Now you can't. I mean, some people made their whole business model around that, like
Fitzgerald.
Yeah,
Fitzgerald. Yeah, they used to put out a bunch of glider kits with them scum-sucking 12.7 Detroits. My God, and those Detroits that they were putting together, they had problems. Detroit won't even take those engines back as a core. If they came
Really?
Fitzgerald, yeah, they were taking the piston cooling nozzles out and they were plugging them shut. Well, the DDEC 2 didn't have the piston cooling nozzles, so why does this need it? And our buddy down the road, he got hosed with it. Put an engine, swung a crate motor in from Detroit in, and he went to go and return the core motor. And before they could take it back as core, they flipped it up on its top, took the oil pan out, looked down, and said, "Nope, no good core." And he had to eat the core. The guy was gone, already paid his bill. He was gone down the road.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he had to eat it, unfortunately, in that, and there's a lot of Detroit fanboys out there, and I'm not a Detroit lover. And
They're good engines though, right? Like
12.7s, if you're a door swinger, if you pull a dry van reefer, great engine. They're perfect for you. You're talking a 13-liter engine basically in that, and they'll get the job done. They're not a powerhouse by any stretch of the imagination. And I built one back in the day for a gentleman, a 14-liter, that we put a set of compound turbos on, and PDI tuned it for me, and it was laying 800 horse out. Unfortunately, the internals of the engine, mainly the head, did not like it.
Jesus. Wow. Well, now that you talked about Trump a little bit, let's talk about Trump's mandate, this English-speaking driver mandate that they're coming out with CDLs. You got to be able to, which I think is a great policy, by the way.
Well, it's always been on the book. It's 100% the way it should be.
Problem is, I mean, And you got to at least be able to speak English. You don't have to talk perfectly or anything. We sure don't by any means. But
Oh no.
but you know, you got to be able to at least understand each other, and also know if you're coming up on a left lane and it says left lane closed ahead, and it doesn't have arrows or anything. I know they should have arrows, but if they don't, I mean, you need to be able to read that sign and understand what that's saying.
How the fuck do they even get a driver's license if they can't read English?
Because other states would let them take the test in their native language.
But none of the fucking signs are in English.
Yeah, I get
So
that.
how's that even?
I get what you're saying there, Hadley. But the point is back in 2016, the Obama administration put out a
Fucking Obama.
shut up. But they put out a policy that it was not an out of service criteria. You could ticket them, because I remember being in the port of Evanston talking to a DOT officer out there in about 2018, and he goes, "Yeah, had this guy come through constantly. I kept putting him out of service, and it was like 3 months later. He came back and he started talking to me. He thanked me. He's like, why are you thanking me? He goes, because without you forcing me, I'd never learned.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, that was that one was kind of an interesting deal to say the least, in that. But we see it all the time, unfortunately, because trucking is inherently safe. It is inherently safe. Majority of the accidents that happen between trucks and cars are the car's fault.
Yeah, I watch a lot of those videos.
Yeah, and and especially with dash cams now, and it just proves the trucker's point. Like, it's not us, it's them. And trying to save your ass, and to the cops, because the cops don't. They're always sometimes out to get you, and that not all the time, but sometimes.
And they don't report. They make a report, and sometimes there's stuff they missed out that they should have included in the report. And then the plaintiff's attorneys are coming after you because, that wasn't in there.
Yeah, well, we've seen an incident earlier this year where truck was in the left lane. Dash camera proved the guy was 100% innocent. Left lane, the car is on the right-hand shoulder going down the interstate.
Was that the Charger? With the lady that jumped out? She tried merging off the shoulder, and the truck just kept going and just plowed her over.
No.
I just saw that one.
No,
He gets
no,
out,
No, this different story.
But he was on the car was on the shoulder, on the right-hand shoulder. Truck gets in the left lane.
Middle of the night.
Yeah, middle of the night.
Oh, okay, this one's broad daylight.
Yeah, and all of a sudden the truck approaches. The car cuts completely across the lanes, and the truck hits him. He's in the left lane. He moved over to like the law states, and the car comes all the way crossed over. And basically the truck T-bones him, and troopers show up. Well, unknowns to the whole story, another truck comes up behind, and smacks his car, and the person laid it over. And all of a sudden, one company's going after another company. Because of this accident and that. It's like, whoa, wait a minute. Look at the video. Oh, yeah, it wasn't your fault. So it's like, okay, good enough for you, dude. And it's like, it's like the car's fault. Yeah, I get that. Okay. And that's the other thing. Look at the amount of insurance a truck has to have versus a car. And you think the car had enough insurance to cover that accident?
Hell no. My insurance wouldn't cover shit.
Flat out, cost the first truck a bumper and you saw the video, Lucas. It cost a bumper and a steer tire, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you saw the pictures afterwards. And then, the other truck laid over. So, way worse.
And I tell you what, I talked to the driver on that incident, and going back on that, the dash cams saved the day for that driver.
Anybody that doesn't believe in inward-facing dash cameras have never been put in the position where that's going to save their ass. Because you can have an outward-facing dash camera as much as you want, but
they're going to try to say what you didn't do.
Yeah,
because they can't see you. They can say whatever they want.
Correct.
Now, dash cameras are often referred to as babysitters, but they're not. I mean, I do think it's a company's duty to, unless you have a harsh braking or an incident that you have to review, there shouldn't be any reason that you're going into the dash cams and watching what the drivers are doing.
No, but on that situation,
But you do understand where the truckers are coming from, though. Like, I wouldn't like it either, but like you have to understand where the company's coming from.
Yeah, I think the dash cams just got a bad rep, but they're good to have.
well,
these
it's
days.
because there's a lot of companies out there that sit there and micromanage their drivers off it.
Yeah,
well, yeah.
Now, of course, the ones I use don't have audio in it, but I've heard of drivers coming from some of these big fleets that do, and they say one cuss word because they bumped their knee or something getting into the truck. And he's like, yeah, that's the only reason I'm out of a job right now is because...
That's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. They said,
Does Swift have dash cams?
Yeah.
Oh, really? I'm surprised.
All the major carriers that have them, and
They just don't watch their own videos, or...
who knows? But, but going back to that situation, and that's what saved the driver is you see him looking straight forward, both hands on the steering wheel, looking straight forward, paying attention, and then the incident happened. And it's like, you see that video and you're like, my God, like, how are you ever gonna say anything different?
Well, they tried to pin it on the driver. He told me that they...
don't they usually, like, immediately... It's the truck driver's fault no matter what, and until you can prove
it shouldn't be how it is.
But that's kind of how it is.
It is, unfortunately.
I mean, you're a professional driver, so technically you're supposed to...
Still, all them fucking dipshits on the road have license. Everyone's responsible.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, look at going back to the non-English speaking. Look at Colorado the other year. That guy came off the mountain, burned his brakes off, couldn't read the sign that runaway truck ramp, goes down and kills all them people.
When was this?
Oh, this was 4 or 5 years ago?
Yeah, I think it's going on 3-4 years now.
Yeah, and you got that. Then you got, there's several instances, this year alone that have really been raised where everyone's paying attention to it finally. That's why finally the Trump administration's like, okay, this is stupid. We're going to start putting people out of service because this is... And Hallie, you've been with me. You've been with me when I've walked out of the bathroom just mad because... We were down in Texas. Every single one of them sinks were filled with people washing. I don't get that.
That's the least of the problem.
No, my favorite thing is like
you've seen it.
I know. My genuine favorite thing is I don't know if they speak English or not, but it's when they're full dressed. They have pictures of themselves on the side of their truck holding that case and shit. I love it. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
Other than that, they're in the bathroom fucking taking baths in the sink. That's disgusting. Or shitting on the floor.
The worst part of that thing is the stalls where they got the trash cans
and they're wiping
stall.
and putting it in the that's disgusting. It's so I hate going to the bathroom truck stop.
I wouldn't do that.
I tell Luke to pull around the back. I'll piss in the fucking lot.
Hallie is one step away from driving a Cascadia with dingleberries in the windshield.
Well, have you heard where they'll want like custom holes cut in the floor and they'll shit over the...
I actually have stories on
they'll
that.
They'll shit over the
wait
drive.
Wait a minute. I actually have a story for this one. So I was in Stewart, Iowa. Remember how the Casey's used to be over in Stewart, Iowa, where the pumps were east to west, not north to south now, the way they redid it? I stopped in there. I took a crane over to Brooklyn, Iowa, kicked the crane off. I was coming back. It was like 8:30 at night. And I went in, bought me some greasy Casey's pizza. Nothing hits home better than greasy Casey pizza. And
that was loud.
and here comes a group of like 6 guys out with a case of beer. I'm like, oh, they're gonna have a good night. Good for those guys. And then all of a sudden they start hopping into this truck at the fuel line. And I'm like, what the hell is this? And they throw the case of beer in the truck. They all start getting in the truck. And I just started losing my mind on them. I said, what are you doing? And they all just start staring at me because they didn't speak English. And then the one guy that spoke English in the group comes over and goes, what's the problem, my friend? I go, I ain't your friend, dude. I go, there's no alcohol allowed in commercial motor vehicles.
You can't even park for the night and fucking...
No alcohol allowed in commercial motor vehicles. 0 tolerance. And, they were still driving.
Oh.
So they had alcohol and they were going to drive down the road. Oh, they're going to drink. I'm going to drive. It's all right.
You were a buzzkill that night, huh?
Dude, that is I have 0 tolerance for that. That is such a hazardous attitude.
You better keep me off the road, boy.
Yeah, I'm telling you right now. I told him I was calling the Iowa State Patrol on him, and I'm a guy that believes that snitching is never socially acceptable. But when it comes to something that serious,
oh yeah, your lives are in stake.
My family's on this road, you prick. It's like, no, you will not go kill somebody when I can say something and stop this horrible tragedy from happening.
Why would you want to take on the liability for that, anyways?
I don't know how you get.
I don't have much to say about this.
I don't know how you even shove 6 people in a truck and drive down the road.
I don't know.
You ever seen a clown car?
Yeah, well, it was a Cascadia, so I'm just saying.
But going on to that whole touching on the insurance side of things, I'm hearing a lot of owner-operators that own one truck and trailer. What's the cheapest insurance? Who's got the cheapest insurance? Where do I get the cheapest insurance? That should not be your question. The question should be, what insurance company is going to take care of me? I mean, I've been with Great West Casualty, and I have no interest. I get calls all the time. Well, we'll offer you better rates. I don't care about your rates. I mean, yes, I do. I don't want to be paying an arm and a leg for rates, but at the same time, insurance, Great West, they have a team dedicated that if you ever have an incident, as far as an accident reconstructive investigator, they have a team on standby ready to fly out at a minute's notice. They've even beat the state's investigators out of there sometimes to investigate an accident. I mean, the question shouldn't be, because when you need that insurance, it shouldn't be who's the cheapest. It's who's going to take care of me.
Who's going to cover your ass?
Not cover your ass, but who's going to protect me?
Yeah, they cover your ass.
Like we talked about, it's not always. Now, I'm not saying that there is an instance that it was the driver's fault, but it's not. That's the first thing people lead to, and the only reason for that is because they're a company, they got money.
Well, you remember when I had my back before my Pete, when I had my Kenworth, and I had my Kenworth parked. And this is a glider kit I built, and my God, it was a beautiful truck. It was T800 with a cap. Yeah, I know. I'm a cat guy. And it had 13,000 miles on it. This guy in the dark, pulling an oversized, goes and rips my hood off. And the insurance adjuster they sent out, he starts talking about, well, we can patch that hood, we can straighten this, we can do this. And I looked at him, I said, do you have any ideas or notions of straightening, patching, doing any of this stuff? I go, I'm telling you right now, just get that out of your mind. Everything's going to be brand new parts, and the parts you take off that are no good anymore, I said, I'm taking them with me just so I know I have them, and they weren't reused. Well, I go, hey, dude. I go, that's a heavy 4-axle truck here. I go, you're getting charged downtime daily. What? And I go, you just can't go to Ryder and rent this thing. What are you doing here? And they fought. They ended up paying at the end, but my God, they ended up having to get Great West going to it and go after him. And Great West says, hey, how do you want to do this? Do you want to do this the easy way or the hard way? We're going to get our pound of flesh regardless. But my God, you're going to fix this,
Yeah, there's only 2 truck insurances that even make sense in the trucking industry today. One of those is Great West, and I have no interest in getting a cheaper rate at a different insurance company. My biggest thing is with the number of trucks I have on the road today, and the goal that I have to get to with the number of trucks I want protection. I want somebody there to be in my corner.
Well, I actually have several customers that won't use you unless you do have Great West.
Yeah, I've heard of that too.
Yeah, obviously they've been burned in the past, and they get stuck in their mind that it's like, you ain't got Great West, don't even bother applying. We don't want you.
You guys care if I go pee real quick?
You're good.
Jamie, pull that up.
Yeah, can we pull over real quick?
Oh my God.
I'll be right back.
But insurance is such a big factor in today's world that's not even funny, because it's just one horrible insurance adjuster away from costing you everything.
Oh my God. Yeah, like I said, I like what they do, and that's what you need is protection. It's who's in your corner when you need it the most, because there will be times, it's not if but when, and like you said, it's 90% of the time it's not the driver's fault.
Well, and it goes back to what I've always told everybody, and I know you guys are all sick of me saying this. It's not always about you have to worry about. It's that drunk driver driving that stolen vehicle, because we've all heard the stories. Driver's over his hours by 15 minutes. That drunk driver driving a stolen vehicle comes, smacks into the back of him, kills himself, and guess what? The trucking company had to pay out.
That's a true story.
Yeah, it happened in St. Louis. I think it settled for like $15 million.
And he's only 15 minutes over his logbook, And the motorcycle rider that he was at a red light and that ran into the back of him and killed himself turned around and sued him.
Yeah, the family sued him and won.
You know, another company that just down in Texas, they this car, the four-wheeler, you know, that's what we call cars, was parked on a highway down in Texas, just right over the top of a hill, and no lights on, just four ways. Shut it off. Left
the kids in it.
I even hate saying that, but yes, left the kids in it. Truck comes over the hill.
Couldn't see it.
The parents were off on the side of the road. They didn't bother to flag anybody or get anybody up top with a flashlight, something to flag that driver down. Come over the hill and smoke the car. And I won't go into details of what happened, but you can use your imagination. The parents got charged criminally for the incident because they neglected to get the car off the road or do anything to protect or get the kids out at the very least, you know. And they neglected to do that. The parents got charged criminally, but yet financially, civilly, the trucking company got sued and the families won.
How?
Hey, well, wait a minute.
That's why.
Wait. There's a good story. There's a good story. Remember that story about the guy being legally parked in Texas that we were told? There was a guy. He was legally parked in a rest area on one of the highways in Texas. And a guy, he was, what was it? He was parked southbound. And the guy going northbound lost control, spun out, or it was a motorcycle rider.
Yeah, something like that. And I think somebody was passing and he had to come into that rest area side.
Hit the truck, and they made it the driver's fault.
Yeah. You know why they made it the driver's fault?
Because he could have planned his trip better.
To a safer route. So every time that I go, I hate to,
That's ridiculous.
trying to think of the right words to say, but every time I try to pick a safer route off of near a way station and I get stopped, I use that as my example. Well, you going to argue that getting off at this exit and just taking this little back highway that's nice, clean, and open, that just happens to go behind a way station, is not a safer route?
Well, I know
I'm doing my due diligence to fucking do it. Take a.
Allie, did you leave anything there at that way station?
Nope, not me.
That's why. Why would we go there?
But yeah, I mean,
I heard the bathrooms are dirty, so we ain't stopping there.
Yeah, no.
Obviously, don't bypass way stations. Follow the law.
Yeah,
We're joking.
Or
but
don't.
If
Do what you
there
want.
is a safer route you can take, I would suggest doing so. You know, how can you say that 55-mile-an-hour road is not safer than the 70-mile-an-hour interstate?
Can you fight that with that? Can you do that?
Well, they got to prove that was your intent, though.
Yeah, they got to prove it, but it's a he said, she said kind of.
My
deal
intent
some
is to
days.
pick a safer route.
Well,
Aren't you not guilty until proven guilty?
you're a truck driver, buddy. You're always.
I ain't no fucking truck driver.
Yeah, you are.
You know, but that's another thing on professional drivers. With alcohol, 0.04 is the legal limit versus
Pilots are the same way.
I think that's federal.
But when you're driving your personal vehicle is what I'm saying.
That's ridiculous.
Pilots are the same way.
If you got your pilot's license, they can get you a DUI. Yeah, I said
If
DOT.
the FAA finds out about it, you're damn right they can.
Wow.
You have to report it within 60 days.
But once again, what I'm saying is if you pull into it, let's say a DUI checkpoint with a CDL, and you blow a .06, and the next guy over you that has a driver's license blows a .06, you're going to jail with a CDL. The guy with the driver's license is driving away with no charge.
Well, the line of thinking there is because you're a professional, you know better.
Yeah, I'm not saying you should do that, but once again, what's the difference, though? I understand that
The difference is you've had more training and you're in a professional where they're not. They're amateurs.
They
Why
are.
are we letting them on the interstate?
But I think that it should be the same for them as well.
I
If
would
you're not
have
safe,
to agree with you.
If you're not safe at .04, why is that guy that has no training safe at past .04?
Well, so the big deal is I think it should be harder to get a driver's license even in this country because you've seen some crazy crap like I have on the road, and then you're like, my God, why is this? Look at the people that try to go wrong way down an on ramp.
There should at least be an age limit, like old age limit to get your driver's license.
Me and Lucas won't ride with her father. I'll tell you that
like
right now.
65, 70. Like you retire age, you shouldn't be able to drive anymore.
Oh my God, what would you ride with Dad?
Care Bear.
Oh,
I've ridden with Dad. It's not that bad. It's probably just as bad as riding with Luke.
My God, I didn't realize you installed a sub. No, that was just my foot hitting the floor trying to hit that imaginary brake. It's like.
Oh my God.
Me and Lucas have stories about riding with our father and that, and he could tell you countless stories of me going, Dad, brake. Dad, brake. Brake, brake, brake. And it's like, just, my God.
We
how many warped rotors have I had to change on his vehicles because he just stabs the brakes the way he does? Like, my God.
Now Dad doesn't drink and drive, but
no.
We were down in Kansas.
Oh my God, this story.
The phone is ringing off the top, off the hook. He's answering the phone and everything, and he's veering side to side. Well, local PD pulls up behind him, pulls him over. Sir, you been drinking tonight? Oh, I'm a Baptist,
I don't even dance.
Your dad's a Baptist?
No, I don't know.
Oh. No, he's not a Baptist, but that's always his go-to thing. I'm a Baptist. I don't even dance. It's a slight against the Lord. It's like, dude, just chill out. Like, why are you yelling at this cop? Like, my God.
The local sheriff talked to me, and he's like, I almost like pulling over your dad because I like to hear what excuse he's got for me.
He gets so riled up so easy. You're just like your dad. I hope you know that. You guys are so easy to rile up.
But he doesn't throw his hands up like Gary does.
You don't know how to rile Luke up then.
Like Gary, just like he just kind of throws his hands, just like jazz hands. I was like, okay, cool, and just he'll be caught speeding. All the horses are out. I got to go check on the horse. The horses are out.
Oh God, yeah.
That honestly is a good excuse to get out of shit. I used to use that. Cows are out.
Yeah, he'd be caught doing like 80 and a 65, the horses are out. The horses are out. They're like, okay, go deal with the horses.
Well, horses or cattle are out, or he's either got a guy with a hand chopped off somewhere that he's trying to get.
You ever tried using those excuses? Those work.
My dad's done it.
I've used the cows are out.
I've watched him do it. It's like, how do you get away with this? That's a different
story.
I've used cows are out, and I was pulled over for speeding for cows are out, and I got away with it.
Was your barn door open?
No, my flat was zipped.
Oh, okay. Okay. But the hand chopped off one, I'm like,
that's crazy.
Yeah. What if they're like, oh yeah, let's get an ambulance out there? I mean,
no, he's all right. He's all right. He could drive.
The ambulance has already been dispatched. I don't see it.
Yeah. No, I've had one time where Dad did call me, and I was over tying down loads, and he's like, hey, I might need you to act this out and sell it. This is what I told the cop. He's like, if you got to get down on the ground or something and do what you got to do, but really sell it. If I call you back saying we're on the way, I'm like, okay, I'll let me know. Never heard back, so I didn't have to do that, thank God. But I was like, oh my God.
Yeah,
I'd do that for you.
I appreciate that.
How many times he's been pulled over? I'm surprised he even has a driver's license. Just he and the way he goes about it is hilarious. It's like,
well, how old is your dad now?
He turns 80 this year.
Jesus Christ.
He turns 80 this year. You remember when we were going through Miami when he was driving the excursion?
Vaguely.
Yeah, freaking. He's just driving, weaving in and out of traffic.
Why were you guys in Miami?
We were going down to Key West, and me and James flew into Miami, and they picked us up at the Miami airport. And
how old were you?
I was about ready to turn 21 that weekend. And
so what age does that make you then? How much older are you? What's the age difference?
I don't know. Dusty's what, 62, 63?
37, you prick.
Jesus, you're almost 40?
Yeah, James turns 40 this year.
God dang.
No kidding.
Yeah, James turns 40 this year.
Wow, big 40. Happy birthday, James.
Yeah, then I turned 38.
Jesus.
Oh, so the fun fact, that was the first time.
Luke's 35 too.
That was the first time I ever peed in a cup going down the road.
You make me do that all the time.
You have to pee every time.
Who had to stop 5 times on the last trip?
Well, so the funny
You had me eat the Hot Ones chips, and I was drinking water.
I didn't have you eat anything. You ate that on your own.
They were,
He's like, this is a builder, and he just keeps eating them. He's like,
This
oh,
is the builder.
oh God, yeah.
So we're driving through Miami. My mom used to have a Ford Excursion, and she loved that thing to death. If Ford would build her a brand new one, she'd drive it even to this day. And we're going through Miami, and Gary's driving, just weaving in and out of traffic, just getting on people's asses, and it's like, just brake, Dad, brake. God, oh my God, just really give me, the just panic attack on that, because like I always give people space and just kind of hang back because I don't trust people, and he just. And the funny thing is, after that trip, I had to replace a rotor on that vehicle because it was warped. Just like, dude, like, knock this off. You are destroying braking systems, like. And but yeah, no. Me and Gary have several interesting stories to tell about our father and his driving habits.
we should get him on here.
Yeah, I don't know if he'd ever do that because, he. I don't think he likes me and Lucas right now. So
You guys need to figure it out. He tells me his stories.
daddy issues.
This is all daddy issues.
No wonder you're a slut.
Well, the thing is our parents built the business. We grew up in it, did everything around it, and that. And I grew up in the shop. Lucas got coddled as a kid. He didn't get the same upbringing as me, but mainly because when me and James were around, our parents didn't have a pot to piss in and that. And then by the time Lucas got born, they made everything gel and go and really successful. They had over 40 trucks on the road at that time, and I think by 07 they had 76 on the road. And just growing up in a truck and watching them, listening to the old timers speak, and growing up around truck drivers and diesel techs and iron workers and crane operators and that, and kind of, it's an interesting perspective in life.
So we got a couple potential sponsors that are coming in. I won't touch on who or what because we're finalizing deals and stuff, but I want to say thank you. This show's really brought in, it's really, what's the right word I'm looking for? I mean, it's really gave us a wide band of potential. And
Pulled in a lot of traffic.
Yeah, it's pulled in a lot of traffic from all over the place. And now we have some, not just one, but we have two really big sponsors looking at us. And we're open to it. We want to show more of this stuff. We want to be able to, this equipment and everything else isn't cheap. So if you do have any sponsorships that you want us to advertise, we'd be more than happy to. You can email me. You can call me. My number is posted on there. So we'd certainly like to talk about more opportunities there, especially if you want to sponsor us with a brand new Peterbilt. We're not opposed to anything like that.
We'll take free stuff. We love free stuff.
Yeah. Would you take a...
Luke would love a Cascadia.
Yeah, that's free.
It'd look good pulling a Conestoga down the road on his dedicated steel run.
That's fair.
Bet you get good mileage too.
Yeah.
Because you already have a couple Cascadias on that run.
I got a little bit of everything. I got some Cascadias. I got some 579s on there. So I'm looking at buying some more 579s this coming week down there.
Well, and I'm looking for some step decks for a dedicated customer and that, and looking for about 3 stacks just to keep at a customer's place because they're always using them. My God, they're always using them. And, that just makes it work, especially when it comes to customer services and that. And just they just want stuff there all the time.
Well, let's talk a little bit about customer service. I am seeing one guy in particular come out, and his rates are garbage, to say the least. And they're struggling right now. They don't have very many loads, and they're fighting to stay above water. Yet, I mean, I wouldn't say the most expensive, but we're making money. We're profitable at a fair rate, but we're above market average, I'd say.
I can wholeheartedly say that I am arguably the most expensive individual in Omaha. But the number one thing I always tell people is because my equipment's better. And then when they start dealing with me, and especially me coming out and giving them a game plan on how we're going to do this, they're like, oh, that's way easier. We like this. It's one call. You just make it happen, and we don't have to call 2 or 3 people and one individual. Boom, done. We don't have to argue with anybody. And
yeah, well, how many times have I've been around for you guys getting calls after they've gone past you guys and hired somebody else, and then called you guys like, all right, you guys come now because the other guys fucked it up.
Oh yeah.
All
Stopped
the time.
at weigh stations
happens
without
all
permits.
the time. Yeah. Well, let's go pick it up then.
Well, actually, wait a minute. I got a story for this one. And price is price, and I'm not gonna argue about that. If that's your goal, is try to get the cheapest rate, that's cool. I'm not gonna say anything negative about it. I'm a capitalist at heart. I get it. Okay. We all like to make money and save money. It's cool. Now, I bid a unit out of Kansas going down to Houston. I gave them a rate, and they're like, well, this guy can do it for $8,000 cheaper. I said, well, you tell him just have fun with that one and bon voyage and just leave me out of it. And I show up because I was delivering something big down their yard, and I just look at this guy, and his trailer's not even illegal for the states he was going to run through. Closed group quad on the back. He had a tandem axle truck with a lift axle, so 4-axle truck, and then he had a 2-axle Joe Dog. So it was just basically, if he put his lift down, it'd be 4.6, 4.6, 4.6, 4.6. Everything's closed group. And, I go up to the guy, and, he spoke broken English, and I just told him, I said, hey, let you know, this state don't recognize this, and I would suggest you don't stop at that scale and Truckers Pass saying it's open right now. So may God be on your side, buddy, and, I'm just saying, have fun.
Well, we went on a haul. I was with you actually, and you first gave them a rate. It was too expensive, so they put it on the freight board, and they brokered it out. Well, this guy shows up with a low boy. The chains are all wrapped in plastic, and signs are all wrapped. And I know that
wasn't that long ago, was it?
It wasn't terribly long, about 6 months ago. And the foreman come over to him, and the foreman had ended up hiring us. He said, "Yeah, screw it, I'm calling Dusty." And so we came down there, and the foreman told us a story. He talked to the driver. He's like, "Have you ever hauled anything this big?" No. This will be a first. And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Well, you can go get your experience with somebody else's equipment. I'm just going to save you some time and have you pack your stuff up and go home. I'm going to get Dusty out here."
Yeah, I'm not going to let you lay my crane on its side. Because I believe if you order a brand new crane these days, you're like a year and a half, 2 years out if you're lucky. It's manufacturing basis on that. It's far out. If you want a new Grove, LeBaire, Link Belt, Tadano.
Where was that link belt factory we went to?
Kentucky.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, but
Very fun trip.
What?
It was a very fun trip.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a very great trip. I got to keep you guys out of Nashville because every time we go down that way.
I love Nashville.
Yeah, I know you love Nashville. That's the freaking problem.
Nashville's a good time.
Yeah, because then all of a sudden you disappear and you pass out in a bush or some stuff like that. Lucas has to use...
No. I'm a cockroach. I'll always make it home.
He will. He's
no matter what. Ask about Louisiana.
After he got his phone stolen, our buddy Owen was freaking out, which you'll see him in the next episode. But he was freaking out.
Luke did not care. He's like, nah, he'll make it. I showed up.
He's like, where is Hadley at? I was like, I don't know, dude. Let me go back to bed.
Well, actually, I got a really funny story about Lucas and Hadley. We were coming back with that new 348 out of Houston, so we stopped north of Houston, and I put them down to bed after we feed them dinner. Next morning, it's like 8 in the morning. They're still not awake, and I go, "What the hell's going on?"
Oh my God.
Well, so there's a new rule in the heavy hauling crew handbook that Lucas and Hadley always have to stay in a handicap room. Because I'm beating on their door, they're not answering their door, and they're in the handicap room. I look down and see that little thing. I hit the button once, thinking it was just going to be a bell or something annoying. It was hooked up to the fire alarm of the room.
It was so loud. I was like, this motherfucker pulled the fire alarm to get us up. That's crazy.
I'm like, this is great. Wait a minute. I just hold it for 10 seconds.
I was asking him because you were doing it so frequent, and I was asking Hadley, I was like, is there a fire in here? Like they I mean, I woke up, I was dazed
I didn't know
and
what
confused,
was going on.
and he's like, no, your brother pulled the fire alarm to wake us up. I was like,
this crazy motherfucker. I was like,
no way, Dusty did
get the
that.
fuck out of here.
Oh my God.
And I gotta admit, that's why forever now they have to stay.
They got us up.
handicap.
I'll say that.
Yeah,
That
dude.
was terrifying.
I was up
That's a
immediately.
terrifying thing to wake up to. I do not
Had a
want
strobe
that.
light going off in there, that loud buzzer
yeah,
going
it
off.
does. The
and-
whole
because
works.
if you're deaf, I mean, it's like you said, it's a handicap room. So if you're deaf or something, they want to make sure you can at least see the alarm. Oh, we saw it, we heard it, and we was up. So
And then I'm out there kicking on the door and that. We're up. No, answer the door first. You know, it's like,
That was insane.
made him stand up, answer the door, let me in, and I would go, okay, now you guys go to the bathroom, get your morning routine done. We got to go trucking.
oh my God.
My God, what a that I gotta admit that restaurant we had the night before it was pretty good.
Yeah, it was.
Where are we at for time on here, Adley?
Well, just over an hour.
Oh, okay, perfect. Yeah, we'll keep going just a little bit longer.
But you know, and that's the thing is the cool thing we also have working that me and Lucas are working at is we got a couple big moves coming up and that, which is great because that's why we're able to expand and grow. The nice thing is we have upward momentum and trajectory. We have customers standing behind us, and we got a couple big moves on the book these years for this rest of this year.
Yeah. Well, that brings me up. I actually got to ask you a question about tomorrow. That's 772. That's 772. What should I take for dunnage? I mean, you talked. I need to take some lumber with me.
There's a video on TikTok me explaining actually how to do that truck. And anybody listening to this podcast right now can go back and watch that video on our TikTok, Heavy Haulin', and you'll see how I load those things. But you're gonna need my little.
But this is all set. I mean, the duals are fully on it and everything.
Oh, that's fine. Just full send, buddy. Just full
You
send.
can use it as a rail.
Yep. You just hang the steer axle off the side like a rail. Take my little MT100 Bobcat, my crane mats, lay them out. The steer axles are wide enough that they'll ride down the side of the trailer, and you put blocks under the suspension. Pick it up.
10-4. 10-4. I'll get that all together. No, I was wondering about that because I haven't used a flat deck trailer as a rail trailer before. I wasn't out there for that haul. So yeah, I need you, Hadley. I need you here. We're gonna probably head up that way about 7 a.m.
Where are we going?
We're going to Caterpillar
When was this load decided?
today.
Just now.
Interesting.
Yeah. You've been informed 12 hours ahead of time, and any refusal will be a abandoned truck, and you shall be punished for it on your DAC
You can
record.
spank me. That's fine.
Okay. No, so I think that'll be a pretty cool haul. We're just gonna move it about 50 miles north of Omaha here.
Well, because tomorrow I can't help you with that one because tomorrow I have to go and load a Cabelco CK 27500.
So then who's hauling it then? Mark?
Oh no, Junior.
Oh.
Junior's doing it. He's done one before. So I got to go do that Cabelco car body tomorrow, cross to Omaha, and then once I get that kicked off, I got a call out of our local friendly Rail King dealer. I have to run up to Blair and pick up a Rail King, take it back to Omaha.
Cool deal.
Yeah, no, just
You know,
But-
that's the one thing about that Load King for those rail cars. I do like my trailer over yours is that 18-inch deck height for getting those little rail cars up there.
well. So the problem with your trailer is 8.6 wide.
I know that.
You got to be dead nuts on with them wheels to get it on. Where mine, I got some fudge factor, and I just take those blocks with me to set the rail wheels down on it and just kind of full
Yeah.
send it.
Yeah, but it crawls up on that low deck height trailer though a lot easier than what it does on your standard low boys.
Yeah, there's a. So for a lot of guys that don't understand this, and I'll give you a quick breakdown. There's an advantage to a 22-inch standard deck height versus an 18-inch low pro deck height versus a machinery deck, which would be a drop side. So your 18-inch low deck height, yeah, you've lost 4 inches for overall height. The advantage is you cut the height out of the trailer, so you get the load down out of the air. The disadvantage is it adds weight. And that's why I run two different trailers. I run a 22-inch flat deck, and I run a drop side. Everything I own is 9 wide. Lucas's trailer is 8.6 wide.
Yeah.
9 wide's the new 8.6, boys and girls.
9 wide should be the industry standard.
Yeah. And, but there's certain things you can't get on a 9 wide, I will say. It's some older equipment, and we do come across it even to this day. But the advantage of how I do that is everything I have is the lightest as possible, because my buddy buys another brand of trailers, and my trailer being 9 wide, his being 8.6, his being only a 26-foot well, mine being a 28-foot well, and being whatnot. Mine has a better load concentration rating. My trailer is 4,000 pounds lighter than his, and mine's actually painted, not powder coated.
Wow.
Because, you know, they don't quit, unlike those other scabs. But, you know, that's just my own personal opinion.
Wow. Well, guys, we're going to wrap this up here. We really appreciate you guys tuning in, watching our podcast. We're going to get a lot more videos posted from here on out here. We're going to be doing a podcast. We're going to try to get in once a week. It's going to be kind of troublesome when we're out all week, out on the road and stuff, but we're going to do our best to get a podcast out once a week. We got other guests that we have planned to come in here and talk a little bit about their industry to you guys. And once again, if you want to check out some of our merch, you can go on newgenshipping.com, NEWGEN shipping.com, and check it out. And as Dusty likes to say,
It's on the next one, boys.
and we got to go move some oversize.